All right, guys, you know we had to do it. We have to talk about this Renji versus Uryu battle. A ton took place. That battle was absolutely insane. But what I want to break down is the very ending of that battle and why it was so important. I want to explain to you guys exactly what was going on with that Reishi spear that appeared on Renji's chest. I've seen a lot of fun theories about what it could be, but guys, I think I've got it figured out, and it's going to make a ton of sense once I start explaining it to you guys. What Uryu is doing with that spear is going to blow your minds, guys. We're going to dive into it. I want to talk about a hypothetical Renji and how he very well could go on to be one of the strongest Shinigami we have ever seen. I want to dive into Uryu's new attack, the Feta Swing, and how hacks that thing was. Guys, I'm out of breath here because that battle was insane. So much happened. But like I said, that Reishi spear is going to be the key to everything, and we got to talk about it. I get so excited during these videos because I'm watching the episode. I'm like, did you see that? Did you see that? Oh my goodness. Anyways, and my mind's just blown. So before we go into breaking down some of the throwbacks to OG Bleach and some of the mind-blowing things that Renji did, let's talk about why most of you are here, the Reishi Circle. Now, obviously, we're all speculating at this point. I've seen a ton of fun theories on what this could be. One of them being that it's the antithesis, and what Uryu is doing is taking the damage from the attacks that he's giving these Soul Reapers, and he's going to end up reversing it on Yuha in the end. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, that's definitely not what's happening. I know a lot of big channels are saying that, but guys, what this is an incredible technique on Uryu's part and a part of his new Volstanding. So what this Reishi Circle is pretty much, it guarantees Uryu a sure hit. So any of his arrows that he is to shoot when he pinpoints this Reishi circle, think of it almost as a target. So he places this target on you and shoots, and it's going to go through that circle no matter what and pretty much give Uryu the perfect shot. Now, why is that so important? We're going to see him practicing this ability against different opponents, making sure obviously the sure proof of it, but why it's important is because ultimately Uryu's going to use this attack on Yuha Bak. So hear me out. You'll have to go watch my latest video, Uryu's connection to the Soul King explained, to really get the symbolism behind it. But what's going to happen is Uryu's going to have one shot, obviously, with the Australian Silver Arrow. He's not going to be able to miss, because if he misses, it's the end of the three worlds as we know it. So he needs a technique that's going to guarantee that that shot hits. And what that is the Reishi Circle. I don't think he was trying to spare Renji by any means. I don't think he's trying to spare anyone. I think there truly are trying to depict an Uryu that is bloodlusted. Obviously, he will end up coming back to the good side, but they really want to make us longtime Bleach fans think about it a little bit. But yes, guys, the Reishi Circle is no more, no less than a targeting system for Uryu and what he's going to use to ultimately take down the Quincy King. Now, this is where the real headcanon-y part comes in, but something I've been harping for weeks now is that we haven't seen Uryu's Quincy Halo yet, and there's a very good chance that that Reishi Circle that we saw appear on Renji's chest is Uryu's Halo. Now, that may not be the case, but it's definitely some sort of targeting system. It would be cool if it was Uryu's Halo, because ultimately the Halo, the gift of God, the power of God bestowed on him by his god Yuha, is ultimately going to be what he uses to help take out Yuha in the end. Like I said, he only gets one shot with that Australian arrow, and it has to hit. So just imagine that final battle is happening. Uryu uses that technique. Yuha sees the circle appear on his chest, and by then it's too late, because Uryu has shot the surefire shot that will hit because of the Halo or the targeting system. Uryu truly is living up to his title as successor. His new revealed powers have been absolutely insane, guys. I want to know what you think of what the Reishi Circle is. Do you guys agree with me? Does that make sense? Is this ultimately going to be the technique that Uryu uses to take down the Quincy King? I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. We are going to get into Uryu's other technique, the Feta Swinga. I try to say it like Uryu did in the anime. The voice acting in that episode was absolutely incredible. Here I am getting excited again. But guys, we've been talking about Uryu for quite some time now. We've got to talk about our boy Renji because, guys, the glow up for Renji power-wise is so incredible. And I know a lot of people are putting respect on his name, but I don't quite think we're putting enough respect on Renji's name because at this point, this man is easily one of the strongest Shinigami we have ever seen. And as far as Shinigami's ages go, Renji's still a very young Shinigami. He acquired this power in the Royal Palace within a matter of days. So just imagine, now he's not quite as young as Toshiro is, but he's pretty young compared to captains like Sun Shui and the late great Ukitake. But what I'm getting at is if you give Renji a little bit of time with this Bankai, more time to train, more time to master it, I always think back to that comment that Byakuya made to Ichigo, like, it takes 10 years to master a Bankai. And well, Renji's barely had any time with Soho Zabimaru, and look how much of a powerhouse he is. Just imagine that attack at the very end where Ichibe's like, I'd say at your current power, 20 seconds ought to do it. Just imagine a Renji in a few hundred years from now, and he's harnessed that technique to the point where, like, he can charge it up as long as he wants. Essentially, he could deal out about just as much damage as he wants. The type of damage that Soho Zabimaru was doing in that battle against Uryu was mind-blowing. He was literally almost melting Reishi. The tip of Zabimaru was doing so much destruction. We literally got to see Renji get his just desserts because, guys, in the first invasion, Renji was drop-kicked through the Serete by Mask, and well, in this battle against Uryu, he finally gets his chance to send someone flying through a cityscape because he sends Uryu flying through Varvelt. Renji did really feel out of place in that final battle 10 years ago because he just wasn't strong enough in our eyes. I've always loved Renji, but back then it's like, man, what's Renji really gonna do? But now this new and improved Renji, guys, I can just imagine not a whole new ending, obviously, but an ending where he's involved. Let's just picture this for a moment. They're trying to take down Yuha in the final battle, and let's just say, they give Renji a chance to show off this 20-second build-up attack. And let's say he builds it up for 30 or 40 seconds this time. Now, obviously, we know it wouldn't be enough to take out Yuha, but cinematically, seeing them pull out all the stops, Renji using all his power, Ichigo using all his power, don't even get me started about Aizen and Yuha. Man, that final battle is going to be incredible. I get so excited thinking about it. But now we know that Uryu obviously will be in that battle somewhere, involved with his Volstanding, and now he'll have this incredible surefire technique to use. If you would have told me 12 years ago that these two goons were going to end up going on to be two of the most pivotal characters in the final arc of Bleach, I would have honestly probably laughed at you. Now, Uryu's been one of my favorite characters since pretty much the conception of Bleach. I've always loved Uryu, but I've also always loved Renji as well. So guys, this battle between Renji and Uryu did so much for the characters. Obviously, we're continuing to see more and more of Uryu's power. I still don't think he's gone all out. Now, as far as Renji, his new abilities are absolutely insane. We see that I love that they incorporated his Shikai into his Bankai. So with the Zazeka and the Orochiho, we see that it's the Zabimaru Shikai type setup, and he's able to control the Zabimaru type setup and actually grab projectiles and throw them. I loved how he grabbed the big block of one of the Schutzstaffel buildings and just slammed it into Uryu. Like I said, he finally got his revenge on and was able to kick someone halfway across a cityscape or halfway across Varvelt. I thought that was absolutely insane. Now, something I want to touch upon is whether or not there were hidden intentions behind this fight. So, I've seen a lot of theories where it's saying that Renji and Uryu kind of choreographed this fight as it was going because Hashwall was watching, and Uryu ultimately wanted to get a certain message across to him. And I think Uryu did do that in the beginning, obviously, by giving him the information on the Soul King and telling him, like Renji, you don't want to go any further. Like, Yuha will destroy you guys. So I think that there was. Uryu was giving a little bit of information there, but after that, I think he definitely was trying to take Renji out because ultimately they're depicting Uryu in a slightly different way than they did in the manga. Obviously, they want us manga readers to somewhat believe, like, well, maybe they're rewriting Uryu and he really is a villain. But ultimately, we know that that's not the case. What they're doing is they're showing that Uryu's 100% determined on reaching his goal, and if there has to be casualties throughout the way, then so be it. Now, I'm not saying that he was trying to kill Renji, but he was definitely trying to make it believable enough for Hashwall. So yes, there seems to be a little bloodlust there. Anyways, guys, I want to know what you think when it comes to that, if there was any mysterious motives. I did find it a little bit weird that Renji complimented Uryu's cape because that's something very uncharacteristic of Renji. Back in his battles in Wako Mundo with Uryu, he was always giving Uryu crap about said cape, so I found that a little bit strange. So, guys, tell me in the comments below, what exactly do you think was going on there? I think that was a legit battle where Uryu definitely wanted to take him out, and like I said, I explained my theory on the Reishi Circle, and I believe that to be true. That's his new technique, and he had to try it out here on Renji. We saw that Uryu's able to use Slave Ray without the Quincy Halo, and I did mention that target may actually be his Halo. I do want to talk about all this in the comments because it all is very interesting. There's a ton of people that want to say Renji still jobbed out in this battle, but what we'll come to probably find out is that the Feta Suega, that is so fun to say, but it is more than likely truly the pinnacle of a Quincy technique. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Uryu is probably the only Quincy that can or probably ever has used this technique, like not counting Yuha, of course, but like I mentioned earlier, Uryu really is proving why he is the perfect Quincy, the quintessential Quincy. Like all the other Stern Ritter, they're powerful in their own right, but they're not quite the perfect Quincy like Uryu. Anyone would have, when it comes to this attack, the Feta Suega, anyone would have jobbed to that attack. There's not too many people that could survive that. It sucks all your race. I mean, it leaves you pretty much powerless. The fact that Renji was still able to conjure his Bankai there at the end says so much about Renji and his new connection with Soho Zabimaru. A lot of you asked me, Sterling, what did Uryu mean there at the end by two kings, eh? Well, if you guys have ever been to Japan, I'm not going to get into the history of it all, but the two guardian saints in Buddhism that you find in front of every Japanese temple, that's what he meant by the two kings. They're known as the two kings. I may slaughter this, but it's like Niho and Naihao or something like that. They're also later on in history depicted as those giant golden lions in Buddhism that are in front of a lot of Buddhist temples. Anyways, a lot of you were wondering what Uryu meant by that. It's actually a reference to Renji's Bankai, which is the mythical animal Nu, who was half snake, half gorilla. Anyways, that's a video for a whole nother day. Just wanted to explain what Uryu meant by that. I wanted to explain to you guys what the Reishi Circle was. There's at this point, it has got to be a target, and it very well could be Uryu's Quincy Halo, guys. such incredible stuff, especially if he ends up using it in the final battle against Yuha. Guys, I want to know what you think about this new and improved Renji. Do you think that this Renji has the possibility, like, say, 3, 4, 500 years from now, being as strong, if not maybe stronger than ex-head Captain Yamamoto? Or am I just crazy? Because the versatility of Renji's Bankai shown in this episode was wild. Like I said, the destructive capability, it's like mini nuclear bombs going off in Varveld, especially with that final attack that he uses, the Zage Zeko, or I'm slaughtering these names, but Renji's power is up there. He's one of the strongest captains. He's a lieutenant, but he is one of the strongest characters we've ever seen, and definitely high captain level. Guys, let's discuss all these crazy theories that I discussed in this video. Let's talk about Renji's new Bankai, Uryu's new power. Do you guys still think Uryu's holding back? I definitely believe so, guys. Let's talk about it in the comments below. I cannot wait for tomorrow's episode, guys. Until then, until the next video, this is Sterling signing out. Have a great weekend.